You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tiina, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Matter Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Hello, Jessi, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I'm really proud to have you as a guest on the Matter Beauty podcast because you're such an amazing practitioner and amazing human being. So I'm sure that all of our listeners, they will be happy to know more about you. So please, for everyone who don't know you yet, please introduce yourself and speak a little bit about your amazing practice in Portland.
Yeah, my name is Jessi Slavich, and I am a holistic esthetician and massage therapist. I have a practice here in Portland, Oregon called Vena, Cava. I just brought on 2 brilliant estheticians and massage therapists this year. We specialize in face massage for well aging and nervous system support. I really love supporting women who are navigating the complex landscape of getting older in a culture that doesn't really approve of that. But we also love working with skin conditions like acne and rosacea.
But you are specializing in the really holistic approach to the skincare and to all types of treatment. So what types of treatment you are not offering in your place?
Oh, we're not offering most things. I started out holistic, and I actually never even learned how to do things like microdermabrasion. We started out holistically, so most things can't be done here. We don't have a lot of devices. We do use a Lima laser. We do use red light therapy a bit, and we use tools like gua sha tools. But all the other devices and gadgets, you're probably not going to find here.
It sounds great. I think you can do a lot of things using this holistic approach. And actually, it sounds like you have everything what you need. But what led you into holistic aesthetics? Was there some specific moment or some experience what clicked to you? Because the way to the holistic aesthetics can be so different.
I grew up with natural eating, and yoga and things like this were always familiar. It seems just embarrassing and old-fashioned. I just wanted to work with the barrier and the health of the skin, the microbiome of the skin. I don't want to cause harm to the skin. So for me, a holistic approach was the only way.
It's so great when it runs in the family. So family really supported you.
Yes, that's just what I know.
What was the biggest surprise for you when you entered the industry and started to work professionally? There've been some things which you didn't expect at all, because for me, there've been a lot of them.
For sure. And honestly, the thing I think that was the biggest surprise was a delightful one was how much I would get out of my partnerships and how robust these relationships are. And I have learned more, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your podcast, I have learned more from you than I have in all of my training easily. So I get this really top-notch education simply by being partners with people like you. I feel so lucky, and I didn't expect that at all.
I am so happy to hear it, because when I started my way to the industry, it was in the mid-90s, and they've been like that. Brands really focused on the education 30 years ago, And I feel the same, like when I participated in some education created by the brand, it wasn't very commercial. Obviously, they presented the skincare, the treatments, they've been speaking about the products, but it was educational. And now what I feel, unfortunately, is that the industry moved other way. And sometimes I feel like not alone, but there's so few of us independent brands who continue to educate people without being hardly commercial in this education. Because I don't think that we should do everything branded. I think that we should just share our values and information and science, what is behind the brand, to make professionals understand better why I created this product, why I think this treatment will be the right choice for the clinic, because it's such a huge responsibility for clinics and practitioners to take a new brand on the board. Because obviously I know, because I practiced myself for almost 20 years. And when you take a new brand, it's always you take a risk with a new brand, right? Because every time you introduce new brand to your clients, you believe in that, but you will know if it works really or not only in a few months. And if you just believed in some empty promises, it can be absolutely catastrophic for the practice. And because of that, I'm so grateful to everyone and to you. Then you believed in the brand and you've been confident to take this risk with a new brand, which is not hardly advertised, which is not, you cannot see us on the magazine papers. You will not see celebrity A-stars speaking about the brand. We don't have a budget for this type of advertisement. So it's absolutely precious when practitioners like you just take the brand aboard.
That's one of the green flags with working with Meta was I said, I don't see a big advertising budget. To me, that is a great sign. But I know for a lot of consumers, if they're not seeing it advertised, they think it must not be a big deal. And I say, yes, but if they're not spending their money on advertising, they're spending their money on education and high quality ingredients and this kind of thing. Sure, it's a risk, but when you get results, it's incredible because our work is so relational. It's so deeply relational, and clients need to trust me, and I trust you, and then hopefully I can earn my clients' trust. And I get such great results that it's really pretty easy. Oh, of course. Yeah.
It is amazing. It's really such a relationships which are verticals and horizontals at the same times, because for practitioners like you build your relationships with your suppliers, brands, but also companies who supplies everything for your business. And in the same time, you build this horizontal, long-lasting, sometimes many generational relationships with your clients, because you start to work with your clients and at some point you will see daughters. You will see their mothers and friends. So that's for good esthetician, really they become a part of the life of the client. It's what I love about it. And it's really great to be the part of this life in so many countries. And it's really interesting. What made you curious enough to try Meta skincare in your practice? Probably not only because it's not advertised, but I'm very pleased to hear it.
That wasn't the only reason. I wasn't getting the results. Well, I'm always looking for skincare. I'm not really anymore, but at the time I was just always checking out, seeing what's out there. I love products. I just love products. I never get tired of them, even though there are way too many out there right now. But I wasn't getting the results I wanted, especially for advanced cases of acne or rosacea. And I thought there's got to be something out there. I was a supplement buyer for a long time, so I was really interested in the microbiome. And I would sometimes see lines that had, say, probiotics in their formulas, but I would look at the packaging and think there's no way this can be stable in this kind of bottle. Like, I'm not a chemist by any means, but even I know this can't be shelf stable. Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know, I stumbled upon your line and to see that you had like really science-driven, thoughtful, researched, very specific treatments for each condition. So yeah, I started playing around with it and
Acne and rosacea, but they're always your go-to treatment, right?
yeah.
They're always your favorites.
Yeah, I use the hydrofill line a lot. I was just saying before we got on camera how I got up early to do a hydrofill mask.
Hydrofill is actually for being camera ready.
Yeah.
It's nothing better. And when I created this hydrofill treatment, it was a whole idea behind it. Because also being a practitioner, we always have some clients who need to look flawless today.
Yeah. Yes.
Not in a 3 months.
Exactly. I have clients who are on camera who it's really important. They're going to some big event. But even if not, when somebody walks out of a facial, their skin needs to look damn good. So we want to just see these like immediate results. And you really get that with the line. All of it. I love just in terms of products, the niacinamide has been such a game changer for me and my clients. It really just is so immediate. So I'm talking about the Energy Net Cleanser, the Energy Swan Serum. Yeah, but the moisturizers are perfect. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much. So your favorite products, they're mostly about this glow. I would not call it glass skin because I don't really love the terminology glass skin because it's not like a glass, but people call it.
Isn't it funny that our skin goes through trends? That doesn't make any sense. I heard that the new term that people are starting to use is butter skin. Have you heard this? Oh. Now we wanted our skin to look like glass, but now we want it to look like
butter. Yellow.
I'm not making this up. Yellow, like we have jaundice? I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm so shocked by this trends because when I started, everyone wanted to look as matte as you can.
Yeah.
Shine was forbidden. It was absolutely banned. So everyone mattified the skin. And now look at us. Everyone wants this glass skin. Everyone wants to shine, especially when you are on the trade show, because there are a lot of influencers who are visiting. Sometimes they're shining so much, like their skin is covered with some film. This glass effect. And now butter. I don't know.
Yeah, and now butter. And now butter. Do we actually put butter on our skin? I don't know how it works. Sometimes this effect of having really glassy skin or skin that's overly dewy, it's not necessarily healthy. Would you agree? Like sometimes there's just a lot of stuff on it. What are your thoughts on that? Like the health of the skin versus what we consider beautiful. I'm so fascinated your take on that relationship.
Actually, when I asked about this glass skin effect, I'm always trying to explain them. First of all, when we are speaking about this glass skin and shine or matte skin, we are speaking about the physics because it's all about the skin optic, the optic property of the skin. How skin looks, the whole skin appearance, depends on the ratio between light absorption and light reflection by the skin. And in the young age, children's skin just reflects so much more of light. And they have this golden aura, which looks beautiful, healthy, radiant, shining. But they don't look like dolls, right? Even the children's skin, which looks absolutely perfect, never looks like a real glass or the mirror. So I think that's what we can have as a goal, as a target, is to recreate this healthy, very young skin looks because it's healthy. And we are optimizing the ability of the skin to reflect the light properly. And we can do a lot about it because this young skin reflects the light so perfectly. Because, first of all, the surface of the skin is very even. And so it reflects the light evenly and it looks different because when your skin has the different areas of texture, somewhere it's dry, somewhere it's more oily, a little bit shining, a little bit matte, and you have this uneven reflection of the light from the skin, it doesn't look so flawless. So first of all, we recreate this Canva the even surface? Exfoliation.
Mm.
But in the same time, exfoliating the skin, we should think about moisturizing properties of the skin, water holding ability of the skin. Because if you exfoliate too much, you just strip off all the water holding molecules from the skin, aka lipids. Without lipids, it will look too matte, so it will not reflect as much as we can. And also it's about the color, because when the skin reflects light, it sounds a little bit counterintuitive. Because people think then it's only the skin surface, so stratum corneum, the most superficial layer of the skin, which creates this reflection. But in fact, no, we can see even fat cells. Subconsciously, we see them. Because there's small yellow colors in the skin or a little bit of redness. That's how we see it. We see hemoglobin, we see the bloodstream, we see fat tissue, we see the color of the dermis. And also young skin, it looks so beautiful because in the deep layers of the epidermis, they have a lot of very specific proteins, for example, created from the histidine amino acid, which looks like mother pearl, so it's very reflective, it's very beautiful, and also it creates this youthful look of the skin. So it should not be too red. The color should be as even as we can. It should not be too pale or grayish or yellowish, because that's how we see then hyperkeratosis or thinning of the dermis when you can see more of the fat tissue in the subdermal layer. So we recreate this water holding ability, recreate this canvas, the even surface. And also we are trying to create this pillow on the skin, but very thin one and very breathing. So it reflects the skin like dissolving the light a little bit, not like a glass, but creating this beautiful blur. And we can do it. And now we do it with different types of hyaluronic acid and with probiotic stimulating these water holding elements on the skin, and even with new peptides, which can help us to synthesize a little bit of more of this useful elidin in the epidermis. It's not so deep, but it should be very strategic. And when I see this, the real glass skin effect, I'm so disappointed because it's just a film. It's like a plastic film on the skin, which doesn't help. The skin cannot breathe when it's covered by this plastic effect. And a lot of brands, especially makeup brands, they're using silicones for it. And silicones, they are not good for the skin and they're not so good for the planet as well. And I know how passionate you are about environmental consciousness of skincare ingredients and of the skincare itself. So for you, it should be the really big deal, the ingredients, and it can mean many things. How do you personally define the environmentally conscious skincare in your life and in your practice?
That's a great question.
When people say that means one thing for me, I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
it's so complicated. We have to think about sourcing of ingredients, there's packaging. Where I live, there is a great wellness culture is complicated to me, but not quote unquote natural products, which what does that even mean anyway, right? Those are really popular here. And I see a lot of people gravitating towards something because it has, say, plant-based ingredients, which is beautiful, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right for your skin or formulated well or safe or sustainable or anything. So you're a cosmetic safety expert. I mean, you can speak to this better than I can, but I really try to encourage people to think instead about whether their skincare is safe. So I really have a problem with the word clean. I don't know what it means, and I think it's very misleading and confusing, but is your skincare safe? That's what I'm interested in. I think just because something is derived from a lab doesn't make it bad or unhealthy at all. But in terms of sustainability, that just gets tricky because it's very easy to place the onus on individuals and say like small businesses like mine. And I certainly endeavor to make choices as a consumer that align with my values. But for example, I drove my car here this morning because even though I live in a city with pretty good public transportation, it's so much faster and easier to just drive. So as long as there aren't meaningful systemic changes happening, placing the onus on a bottle of serum that's made and that's packaged in plastic for particular reasons that have to do with the safety of the product, and you're using that over the case of a month, I think we need to have more nuance in the conversation. As long as corporations have unmitigated access to natural resources, as long as billionaires are flying around in jets and we're not seeing systemic legislation, policy change, we're not going to be able to deal with this perilous crisis. We see a lot of greenwashing in our industry, so much. And I think anytime there's not a conversation about the people responsible for these systems, that to me is greenwashing. Anytime we're not looking at the bigger picture, it's greenwashing. What are your thoughts on that?
So right. I can't agree with you more because I'm trying to learn about it for so many years because I'm thinking about the planet and I think about the impact which we do on the planet. And also, like you are saying, when you choose to drive the car today, I choose to produce skincare. Being conscious about the amount of skincare in the world and with the whole understanding, then each producer of the skincare produces something which will impact the planet, even if you are the owner of the small brand. So for me, my first choice was to produce only products which I think they are absolutely necessary and which other brand didn't make already. That's, as you know, we don't have sunscreens. I'm working on the sunscreen formula for more than 13 years right now, but I am not there. There are many of good quality sunscreens in the world. I don't want to produce something just to sell it because everyone, obviously, all kinds of marketing experts, sales experts, they've been, I don't know, thousands of people who told me this year, you should have sunscreen. It's good for the business. Yes, it's good, but how good it will be for the whole planet, I don't want to do it. But also, it's so complicated because every time when I'm trying to learn, there are some moments which literally irritate me. Like I remember just recently, I've been at some conference about environmentally conscious approach to the skincare, and they've been big brands, big corporate players with CEO and head of R&D, and they're speaking so beautifully. And they're giving some advices which just, I cannot relate to these types of advices because when some very big figure of the industry just speaking about how they reduce the ecological impacts, taking off the small plastic spoons from the hydrating creams, I want to ask, in the first place, why on the planet Earth you added plastic spoons? You've been using plastic spoons for 20 years. And I remember the industry, 20 years ago. I asked people why you need plastic spoons, and just that's rubbish. It's just unnecessary amount of plastic. Are you not able to find something to take the cream of the jar? Just let's pretend you use something to take a cream of the jar. All of us, we know then this spoon will be used once to take a picture for the Instagram. That's it. And also this packaging and everything, it's just so strange because 90% of this discussion, which should be motivating for brand owners, for development specialists, for everyone, literally greenwashing. And at the same time, I think then we should get some collective efforts to get better because I want to have this feedback from users of the skincare, from customers, from our partners. And thank you so much because you provide us with the feedback. You ask this question, what types of plastic you're using as a brand. And I'm so grateful because we took a lot of efforts to find the right type of plastic. We are using recycled plastic, which can be recycled again for 98%. You cannot do recycling for 100%. It's just impossible. We put a lot of effort to find the right color for the plastic because the part of the recycling, it is laser diagnostic of the plastic. And laser rays, they don't see dark colors. So every time when I see these beautiful dark blue bottles, or even better, black bottles, I just know that's impossible to recycle because the colors make it technically impossible or very difficult. So we looked for this right color of red, which should be visible for the laser. But also we don't have an opportunity to speak about it so much because there are so many things to speak about, and people expect us as the brand and me as the brand founder to speak more about ingredients. And it is probably the most interesting topic, especially when you work not only with vitamin C. I can speak for hours, for days, for months about peptides, probiotics, prebiotics, metabiotics, biofermented food, whatever. But also, it's a pleasure to speak about plastic. And it's so many aspects, it's so multi-layered. For example, when they are speaking about the recycling, we should understand that these plastic jars, it should be clean before it goes to recycling, because no one will clean it properly except for customers who've been using this jar. And that's why we are using airless pumps, because when you finish your product, when you finish to use these products, it's only 0.2 milliliters of the product staying on the wall. So this jar is technically empty and it can be recycled with this 0.2 milliliters. But if you have 1 milliliter or more, it should be cleaned.
Yeah.
And honestly, who clean it? Except for Scandinavian country, Japan, and maybe some Australian passionate people. Because, I've been training beauticians in 43 countries over the world. And it's literally so few of them, they make some efforts to get this full understanding. So I think that's, for the brand, it's very important to help practitioners, to help customers, to give them everything what you can for facilitate this way for recycling. Right. So just give bottles which can be recycled fully, which you should not clean. You should not stick off the sticker, because stickers can be the problem. And it was so difficult to find the right type of sticker which can be recycled with the plastic. Because being realistic, I understand, people will not de-stick stickers from the bottle. Never.
No. And so that's fascinating. So for anyone who hasn't used a Meta product, they're in these like perfect pumps where you get the exact right dose you need. So it's empty enough that you can recycle it. It's not like you have to cut the bottle open or anything.
Yeah, nothing. It's the same type of plastic, same class, same type of polymer.
And so this kind of plastic can be recycled multiple times, because my understanding, and I'm not an expert on this at all, but my understanding was that plastic can only actually be recycled once or twice and then it's just done.
Now we have the specific type of plastic which can be recycled a few times. And so we are buying the plastic already. It is already recycled, because for me, it is important to not produce a new plastic.
Yeah.
There's too much plastic on the planet already. So I'm trying to do as much as I can, do not add to this mountain of plastic. So we are using existing plastic. It exists.
Yeah.
So all we can do about it to reuse it. We lose about 2% of it during the recycling process, because now we can recycle up to 98, maybe 98.4%. It's our maximum, but it is possible.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on glass packaging? Would it even work for your products? Because would there be just too much of a risk of exposure to oxygen? I ask because I think people associate glass with being more recyclable and therefore better. And I think people think of it as more of a luxury thing. But like with what you're saying about the black or the violet glass not being recyclable, Maybe how much of that is a perception thing?
Glass is more or less recyclable, but the problem with the glass, first of all, it is fragile. So it is not stable, it's much more difficult for delivery, and also it is heavy. So in the same time, you create more carbon dioxide traces because it's heavy and you need more transport, so you spend more of energy. And also it is an energy spending process, production of glass and recycling of the glass. And technically, it is impossible, at least now, to create this new type of packaging like airless packaging with glass vials. Unfortunately, I want to do it, but just cannot do it technically. But airless helps us to make product more ecological and safer in another way, because airless means that the product will not be in contact with an air, and we can use much less of preservatives. Preservatives, most of preservatives, they are more or less chemically synthesized. Now we are changing our preservative system for kimchi extract. I love kimchi.
I ate it this morning with my eggs.
Yes, and it's amazing. I'm using kimchi extract and so many formulations, including the deodorant. Maybe the only deodorant in the whole world is kimchi and peptides. So,
Definitely the only one.
at the same time, kimchi, it is a great preservative for cosmetic, especially when you're using careless packaging. And I hope then in a few years, my goal is to 2030, to change the preservative system in all of our products. For kimchi, we are not there yet, but still, airless gives us an opportunity to use more effective ingredients, less of chemically synthesized ingredients, and to dose products perfectly with this specific airless pump, and also create this recyclable packaging. So unfortunately, it is impossible to do with a glass.
Yeah.
So I tried. I really wanted to use glass.
Yeah. Oh, but that's so interesting.
And also to prepare glass packaging for the recycling, you should de-stick all types of stickers from the glass, which people don't do.
Yes.
And you should find the right cup. And cups are mostly plastic, or they should be aluminum, because you cannot use glass cup if you're planning to sell these products.
Yeah.
To put them on the shelf. It's not a decoration, so it's so complicated. And I'm so happy that you understand the whole complexity of the problem. Then there's so many layers, and sometimes, yes, the product can be packed in the paper box. It doesn't mean that it makes less of impact on the planet, because ingredients can be not very sustainable. Some ingredients can be sourced from not sustainable sources, or it can be not a fair trade. We all know about the scandal with cacao and coffee and palm oil. They're just devastating. So I really, it's so complicated, because I love your answer. I don't know, because I don't know myself.
We're all just doing our best. And I'm glad you
trying to do
mentioned
our
that
best.
about, I'm glad you mentioned that about the preservatives, because I work with a lot of people with very sensitive skin. And I don't know if this is true, but I wanted to ask you, I just wonder how much of reactivity when people are dealing with, say, barrier damage and their skin is sensitized. Do we know what effect certain preservatives have in skincare on someone with like barrier damaged skin? Because I don't get these kinds of reactions with your products. And I know the preservatives are really thoughtful, but I think about preservatives a lot. What are your thoughts on that and how they affect the skin?
Actually, that's another great question, because if you remember the whole story about parabens, how they've been demonized and how people started to be afraid of parabens. And actually, I'm still sorry that we don't use parabens anymore, because parabens been great. We could use them in the really low concentration. They've been very efficient, and they've been eco-conscious, because plants-derived parabens are amazing. Cranberry is full of parabens. Strawberry is full of parabens. Wild cherry contains a lot of parabens. Literally, half of berries, they are highly concentrated in parabens. But obviously, chemically synthesized parabens, they've been less organic, let's say, and less friendly to the human skin and to the human body. But still, we could progress in this area. But unfortunately, with all this press and media story about parabens, they just didn't want to see parabens on the label. Yeah. So the industry started to change, and parabens being replaced with many of chemically synthesized ingredients, which paradoxically, many of them, they are worse than parabens in so many ways. You should use higher concentrations. They can be very irritating on the skin. And also with parabens, they've been used by the food industry and the beauty industry for dozens of years, since 50s. So we've got a lot of information. Part of this information was empiric, but it was still the knowledge. And with newly synthesized molecules, we've been just discovering some unpleasant surprise using them in the first place. That's what happened with MIT, methyl isothiazide, which became the first replacement for parabens. And very soon it was discovered that it is the main irritant for so many skin types. Not only for the skin with damaged skin barriers, but for people who are suffering from sun damage, for people who are prone to rosacea, who are prone to inflammation. So MIT was banned, at least in the European Union. I never know what is banned and what is not in the United States.
Not much. We don't ban much.
I really lost in the FDA rules because I'm always follow rules which are accepted in Switzerland because they're strictest in the world.
They definitely are.
Which is potentially harmful is for people.
Yeah.
So it's like when people ask me, do you test your product on animals? Absolutely not. And it was banned in Switzerland for so many years. I don't even remember when it was forbidden, like forever. No one does it who produce the products in Switzerland or even in European countries, because for more than 20 years, we don't do animal testing here.
Yeah.
And now we are using different kinds of preservatives. My favorite is phenoxyethanol, derived from rose and derived from the green tea. Because yes, it's a big chemical name. It sounds not so nice for so many people, because when you say phenoxyethanol, people are like, oh my God, that's a chemistry. And people are afraid of chemistry.
I'm not a chemist, so I don't know when I look at a label what anything means.
I'm always like, when you see what the food industry put in the orange juice, I don't know why you're so afraid of the chemistry. You should be used to.
100%, 100%. I know.
So I think the best way to reduce the irritation potential of the skincare is to reduce all addition to the skincare. So we are not using perfumes, we are not using colorants, despite a lot of people, also a lot of experts told me that you should create this perfume signature for your products, because for marketing it works. There are a lot of conferences which are speaking with you like your cream should be pink or slightly creamy because it looks nicer and they have more potential to sell. I don't do it. I just, okay, my product looks boring.
And it's so insulting, but we all buy into it. It's very easy. We're not even aware of the ways that we buy into these marketing things. And then when you stop and think, and wow, why does my moisturizer need to be pink or perfumed? It's bananas. Like, of course it doesn't. So I love that your moisturizer looks boring. That's exactly what I want.
Also, because all this nice stuff like colors and perfumes, they are so small molecules. And they penetrate into the skin much deeper than we want them to penetrate. We want them to stay on the surface. But we cannot force them to stay on the surface because they travel like a train. So it's always tricky. It's a constant battle between marketing and the safety. And paradoxically, products which look nicest, they can be most irritating.
Yes.
It's so unfair, but it is a kind of scientific truth. And what are your red flags in the product?
Ooh, most things are red flags to me because we have too many products. On most products, like, why did you make this? We don't need it. There's something else already that's better. I'm a tough sell. I'm very picky. I think there are some beautiful lines out there. No line is for everyone. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a diversity of products, but it's pretty obvious to me now when a line is just trotting out some kind of trope like, oh, we're microbiome friendly or barrier safe is now something that people say. And it's like, well, you weren't saying that 5 years ago. So are you just now safe for the barrier, or you just didn't want to tell us all along? Like, come on, you just hopped on a marketing trend. Like, just, I'm not impressed.
Oh, you have a good memory. And industry doesn't like customers with a good memory.
It's so true. Also, another red flag is who made your products, who formulated your products when there's no actual human behind them. Like, I understand it takes more than one person to formulate, and you work with chemists, but if it's just some faceless corporation putting out a product with slick marketing, that's going to be a hard pass for me. And that is so often what clients come in and they're using those things. And I don't like to disparage other lines, but I just sit there. I know other estheticians feel this pain for me when our clients tell us what we're using and we don't want to be judgmental, but we're just like, oh,
Yeah, and they're trying to keep this face, right?
yeah.
Keep smiling.
And that's where, it's hard. I really have to earn their trust. It can take a while. Sometimes I'll work with someone for a very long time before they'll trust me with their home care routine. And I'm patient. I'm in it for the long run. I'm in for a monogamous relationship with my clients, and I will work for it, but it sometimes takes a while.
Yeah, sometimes it takes years and years before you even start to speak about home care routine, because sometimes it just feels like it's useless, because when people say it's using, I love my Chanel cream. Okay, what can I say about it? And I know then you love Chanel, just Chanel. It can be cream, it can be bag, it can be shoes, it can be suit. You will love it. So it's so difficult to, but someday, at some point, the confidence is here and we can discuss it properly. And you feel when the client share your values and they interested and confident in your choice. So that's the best time. But it doesn't happen in one day or in 1 month. And sometimes not even in 1 year. It's so tricky when some clients are coming to the clinic for the first consultation and they are saying to you, I'm ready to change everything in my skincare routine. Just give me recommendation. I will do everything you recommend. And I'm like, not. You're lying to me, woman.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. That's a good intention, but no one does it. You still have your favorite moisturizer on your shelf for some time, even if you like mine.
It's true. And then that really speaks to just how many products people are using. I know like a lot of people are afraid to come in and work with an esthetician because they're afraid that everything is just going to be so wildly expensive. But you save money in the long run, because if you're buying things off of TikTok or a friend recommended it, but it's not right for you, you have all these products. I'm always telling my clients, how old is that thing? When did you buy it? Do you remember when you bought it? It probably needs to be thrown out. Just throw it out and use a few things that work beautifully and that are tailored for you. Like Vivienne Westwood said about clothing, but it really applies to skincare. Buy less, choose wisely. And I wish everyone would really take that to heart. Buy less, choose wisely.
So for clients who are listening to us, what is the one question they should start asking skincare provider if they care about both results and the environment, not only about the hype and trends?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish people would ask more like why I chose to work with a particular line, because I have a lot to say about it. It's not random. Why this and why not something else? I think it's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's a good question because sometimes you can hear the answer like, because I love the packaging, or because it's so trendy, and did you see it on the TV or something?
Yeah.
And sometimes you hear about ingredients, about the technology, about human beings behind the brand. And it's helped people to understand better. And also it helped to understand better if you are in the right place or not.
Right. You and I think about skincare all the time, but I don't expect anyone to know this stuff. Like, how would you know if no one tells you? And vitamin C has such a strangely strong PR team. I don't know why vitamin C is so popular, but people, it's like they've just latched onto this idea that's something I need. And when I break it down, why? They're just horrified that I would not carry a vitamin C. But when I explain why, they're like, oh, but I don't expect anyone to know that. You just hear vitamin C, you think, oh, that's something I need.
I have my hypothesis. The vitamin C deficiency been persisting so many years. There have been so many people who died because of it. And it took more than 100 years to introduce these limes and citruses to the diet of sailors. And finally, they introduced these limes to the diet, and suddenly sailors survived. Because before when they traveled on the ship to America from Europe, they could lose half of the team because they've been dying of the vitamin C deficiency of the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And it took so many years. And doctors who discovered the whole reason of the vitamin C deficiency have been so humiliated. No one believed in them. And all these businessmen who just worked because they've been like, okay, we wouldn't like to spend this 5p a day supplementary for sailors for these limes. It's a luxury. And now vitamin C is vengeance. Now
we're still worried about scurvy.
To love it. And all women around the world obliged to take vitamin C on their shelf, even if it is completely useless.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's how vitamin C gets the humanity.
I think that's a great theory. So even though we're not really threatened by scurvy, we're still behaving as though we are.
Still behaving like we have scurvy. And actually, vitamin C-based skincare, it would be amazing for people with scurvy. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen anymore because you eat one orange a month and you are good. So please, if you don't have scurvy, think about something else. Vitamin C, it's not the edge of the progress in 2025.
Yeah, it's not the panacea they've told you it is.
Not at all. And oh my God, we are speaking almost 1 hour. It's such a
Oh my goodness, I could be here all day. There's so much. We didn't even talk about beef tallow.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the beef tallow, but just shortly, what do you think about the beef tallow?
I think it's great for curing leather. If you want your skin to look like an old leather bag,
it's your choice.
At it. Yeah. What do you think?
I've been asked about beef tallow by big media a few times, and I was so irritated that I just put my phone and registered the video, and this video ended up on Fox TV. Can you imagine how do you feel? And I'm like, I am a skin scientist. For 20 years, I'm specializing in complicated microbiome science. I'm developing innovative formulation. And once I can speak to 300 millions of people, I'm speaking about beef tallow. Congratulations. Because I've been so irritated that it looks for me just like some very old-fashioned idea. And beef tallow, the fatty acids of the beef tallow, they're not friendly to the human skin at all. They're inflammatory. And also the aspect which I don't get, then I've been told that the new generations, the Generation Z, like this story about the beef tallow because it's so organic. But I'm sorry, we've been so against animal cruelty. Yeah. And probably it's come as a surprise, but cows didn't donate tallow.
Yes. Someone was telling me about a moisturizer with beef tallow and fish oil. And This was a friend of mine, and she said, "Oh, that must smell pretty bad." And they said, "Yeah, we put a lot of essential oils in it to cover up the
These Preservatives essential oils, it sounds like a recipe to the catastrophe. And also, just fun fact, in the European Union, ingredients sourced from animals forbidden to use. It's illegal. You cannot add beef tallow in the formulation which can be sold legally around the European Union. And I think it's a good thing because it's impossible to control all animal sources, and also it is unethical.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
sorry to raise this question, but it is unethical, right?
I agree. In short, we are not fans of beef tallow around here.
Oh no, we are not fans of beef tallow. We are fans of science, we are fans of microbiome, we are fans of prebiotics, probiotics, new peptides, molecular biology, even biohacking with some limitations, right?
Yeah.
But not beef tallow.
Yeah. No, give us the peptides.
So to wrap it up, I think the most important thing, please say where can people find you? How they can connect with you, how they can book a treatment with you if they are in Portland or near Portland or just want to visit Portland.
Please visit Portland. It's really a joy. I know it's very gray and rainy, but it's still beautiful. Yeah, so we're located in Northwest Portland. Our website is vena-cava.co.
It's kind of a beautiful name.
Thank you. Well, you have a background in cardiology, so you probably appreciate it.
And I see that I was like, oh my God, there should be fun people behind it.
I wanted a heart-centered name, and I love anatomy. One of my favorite things is studying anatomy, and I just like the way the name looked and sounded.
It's so unique.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So we're on Instagram, vena.cava.co. We'd love to chat with you. We love making new friends, so check us out.
And I highly recommend Vena Cava and Jessi Slavich personally as an amazing practitioner, as an amazing holistic skin therapist.
Thank you so much.
Being Medder partner in Oregon and in the States.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Tiina. It's such a joy and such a pleasure and so fun to talk with you today.
Thank you for joining us today on the Medder Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@medderbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit medderbeauty.com and discover Medder Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.